Alright, so basically, I'm a fucking incel. And I think I deserve women. I'm ugly, I'm stupid, I have a shitty personality, and I'm an all around fucking loser. But you know what? I still think I fucking deserve women. And the fact that I can't have women makes me want to go to a fucking apple orchard and shoot the place up. To fucking make a statement.
People may think that I'm high, but I'm not. I really love to talk about sex, and I think all my friends know about it. I like to talk about it because it's like a normal, basic part of human life. And for the most part, everyone has sex. But there are people for whom sex is only in words and only in dreams. Hello, my dearest. My name is Catherine, and I welcome you at my YouTube channel. So there is a conversation. The term incel was coined in the 90s by a woman named Alana, who created an inclusive community that was open to everyone. It was the first site for people who had difficulty finding a partner. She wanted to create a safety space where lonely people can share their pain, get support, and maybe even find real friends. So it didn't start as a hate movement. Incels can be called a subculture like emo and goths, but incels themselves don't think so. For them, being an incel is a separate forced social position. The community believes that the main reason for the lack of relationships or sex for incels is their external unattractiveness. They believe that girls turn their attention to more handsome and conventional men. But the internet, as we know, has its own rules of evolution. Over time, some of these communities began to turn into like real toxic swamps where people were not supported but rather fueled by sense of injustice. And so you got to a forum where everyone is also lonely, unhappy, desperate, and eventually you begin to believe that you're not the only one, and that you're not to blame, not your habits, not your life circumstances, but something more biology, society, women, alpha men. Thus, the incels turned from people who were looking for understanding into those who started looking for the guilty. And this is important because at the center of this ideology is not just loneliness, but the belief that I'm not given what I deserve. And this is a completely different conversation. So now, please pay attention. We are diving into a real internet folklore. Every religion has its own gods and demons. Incels have their own Chads and Stacys. Chad is a perfect male. Tall, muscular, with a jaw that can cut glass. He is not very smart, but he doesn't need to be. Girls just stick to him. Everything in life comes easy to him. Sex, attention, approval. In the eyes of the incel, it always looks really unfair because Chad does nothing, but at the same time, he gets everything. Stacy is a girl that an incel can never get. She's beautiful, popular, sexy. She always chooses Chad because she only wants a genetically elite guy. In the world of incels, she is the embodiment of female superficiality. And this is how they see it. Stacy doesn't pay attention to the normal guy like the incel because she only wants the top genetic material, like Chad. And the incel believes that he is not being judged for his character or behavior, but simply because of his appearance, height, skull shape, and facial symmetry. And then there is the normie, an ordinary boy or a girl who lives in his or her matrix world and doesn't see how things really work. All of this creates a complete picture of the world, a kind of conspiracy of beauty where the beautiful dominate and the ugly are doomed. You might think that these are just memes, and indeed they look funny. Caricatures of Chad with the big square jaw, silently taking everything from his life, and Stacy with an iPhone in her hands and being like, "Oh my god, Chad, you're so funny." But underneath the memes is real pain. These are not just jokes, but an attempt to organize chaos through irony. Memes have become a form of self-therapy for them, but a very dark, bold, and aggressive one. So when we say incel is not just a lonely guy, this is a person who begins to see the world through the prism of, I'm a victim of a conspiracy of sex market. And this belief can lead to very disturbing places. The problem is that many of them have no one to talk to. Many of them are socially isolated guys, often young, withdrawn, without close friends, without support. And so they go online just to find people who feel the same way. And at first, it even looks normal. Oh, you feel lonely too? You can't find a girl either? There is support, there is sympathy, but over time, the tone changes. All of this is reinforced by social media algorithms. You like a video about why girls choose bad guys, and the next one is why modern women are spoiled. Then, this is how women destroy men. And then, this is what Elliot Rodgers said. And you're no longer just a lonely guy. You're an incel. Forums are echo chambers. They constantly repeat the same thing. Women choose only the top guys. Genetics is a sentence. You will never have a chance. And the longer you see there is, the less you believe in yourself and the more you hate others. Some of them start writing about violence, like, it's just jokes. But these are not jokes. They analyze who took revenge and discuss tactics of revenge on the world. But if you don't go to radical extremes, it destroys person psychologically. Self-esteem falls into the red, faith in change disappears, cynicism and hatred appears. And guys, this is very scary because it is slow, almost imperceptible self-destruction. You don't notice how you turn from a person who just wanted love into someone who dreams about chaos. So, memes are one thing. So is loneliness. But at some point, part of this community stopped complaining. They started to act, and unfortunately, I'm not talking about I need to go to the gym or I go to the psychological therapist. It's about violence. One of the most famous cases is Elliot Rodgers, 2014, California. A 21-year-old man left behind a manifesto and a video in which he told how he hated women because they ignored him. He killed 6 people and injured more than 10 others. His last words in the video, "I will punish you all. This is retribution." From that moment on, the name of Elliot Rodgers became a cult among radical incels. They began to call him the Supreme Gentleman, as if ironically, as if he were a hero. Some people made his face their avatar on forums. And it's not just about the murders. There is a wave of online violence, threats to women, harassment, stalking, sending out manifestos where the author explains why his hatred is logical. For example, this Elliot wrote that in his ideal world, he would keep women in concentration camps and deliberately starve them to death. These radical incels have a whole ideology. They believe that they live in a world where women have too much power and choose the wrong ones. They see themselves as fighters for sexual justice. It sounds absurd, but for them, it's reality. And it's scary. Most of them don't look like real monsters or something. They're just ordinary guys, quiet, silent, without a real criminal past. But inside they've accumulated resentment, isolation, and anger. If you don't talk about it with anyone, it can explode. So yeah, not all incels are dangerous, but among them there are really who just cross the line. And to ignore this means to turn a blind eye to a very serious problem.
After all this, one might ask, why are there so many such people in general, and why are they mostly men? The fact is that modern society has changed a lot. Previously, most people entered into relationships based on the principle of being there is good enough. There was no Tinder, no Instagram, no illusion of endless choice. And now, we live in a world where competition has become fierce. One guy likes a girl, and she has like 150 messages in her direct mail. Social networks have upped the ante. Everyone compares themselves to the most successful, the most beautiful, the most popular. If you're not a top, it's as if you don't exist.
So there is a guy, not very good looking, not so confident, a bit of an introvert, no money, and probably no social skills. And he's told, be a man, take responsibility. Women love confident men. He tries, but he's met with criticism and indifference. And instead of getting support, he withdraws. He goes where they say, it's not your fault. This is the world. Women are evil. Everything is against you.
And now, add one more thing. A lot of boys grow up without a positive male figure around. The father is absent or emotionally unavailable. No one taught them how to build emotional contact, how to accept rejection, how to respect themselves. This doesn't justify it, but it explains it, because incels are not just bad people on the internet. They're a symptom of a society where a man often have nowhere to share their vulnerability, and where instead of therapy, they get hate forums.
They start with pain, and if you don't know how to work with this pain, it turns into anger. And if this anger is also fueled by a group of like-minded people, it becomes dangerous.
And now about the media. Very often, news or bloggers show incels only as murderers, psychos, dangerous males, and that's it. That's it. This is convenient. It creates a clear picture. We are normal. They are horrible. But the reality is more complicated, and as long as we portray this phenomenon as a horror story, we lose the chance to understand why it happens.
And most importantly, we as a society pushing away those people who still have doubts, those who are not yet radicals but are looking for a place to put their anger. And if they see that society see them as a joke, as a meme, as a or threat, they will go where they at least can be listened to.
And unfortunately, it won't be a psychotherapist. It will be a forum, a dark one, radical, fueled by anger.
So yes, incels are dangerous, but the most dangerous thing is to ignore them, laugh, and point out fingers, because then we're pushing them into darkness that we already horrified by.
When a person changes his or her focus from the world owes me to I want to become better, something inside clicks, and this chronic resentment disappears.
Incels are a big part of a conversation about men vulnerability. This is about loneliness. This is about how we grew up without emotional literacy. And if we want to make changes, we need to start with a dialogue with humanity, from seeing not a meme, but a person who is lost. And sometimes this is enough for them to start looking way back. And yeah, it will be difficult. It's not like a battle with girls or revenge on the world. No, this is a path to yourself. Thank you for listening and watching my video, and we're gonna see each other in the next video, so bye.